Welcome to studying Jyotish with me. I've decided to begin this study of the influence of light because that's what Jyotish means. Because I've decided that it's time to dig deeper again. They're my cookies. It's time to dig deeper again into why we're here. What are we doing here? Why are we who we are? And I feel like sometimes when we fall into, especially the online spiritual space, that a lot goes missing. A lot goes missing about what we're actually here to do, who we are, our true purpose of existence, life around us, our connection to all living beings around us and to all living things. And we focus exclusively on what can I get? What's in it for me? Instead of asking, what can I give? Who am I here to be? If I'm an emanation of God or of the divine, then what kind of an emanation am I? And especially, how can we evolve? There used to be a time where people got into spirituality because they actually wanted to evolve. They wanted to get closer to the divine. And it wasn't about acquiring material things or just stopping suffering in that sense. Suffering was seen as a purifier in a way, as a catapult to getting closer to God. And I feel like that somehow has gone by the wayside in a lot of online spirituality. And so I'm happy that you're here with me today and that you're walking with me, and we can dive into Jyotish, or the study of the influence of light. So as I'm sharing here with you today, you can see I'm studying. I'm a complete beginner, and I do have some basic knowledge around Jyotish, but not as much as I thought. So I'm starting from square one, and I'll share with you the books that I use, the courses that I sign up for and take, the what I learn, and we can just go through it step by step. And of course, I welcome your insights and input as well, and what you have learned maybe around Jyotish, and maybe we can create this into a beautiful space. So this video, I want to focus on what Jyotish even is and what it means and where it comes from. So we call it Vedic astrology, or some people will say it's Hinduistic astrology. It's the study of the influence of light. Jyoti means light, and Isha means God or Lord. So Jyotish itself means Lord of Light. And there's this saying, Atma Jyoti Parama Dhamma, and Atma is the soul. Jyoti, of course, is light, and it's basically, it means one should seek to attain that light of life with the help of Jyotish. And Jyotish is one of the Vedic disciplines, and I'll get into that into a second. But the Vedas, or out of the Vedas, arises the understanding or the insight that there are four main goals of life. One is Dharma, and that is religious merit, and that is all about correct actions, doing the right things, acting in the right way. And this doesn't mean necessarily only acting correctly, as in having manners. It also means knowing your role, being in the right place at the right time, doing what your role commands you to do or asks you to do. So in the sense of, if God made you a king, then you're going to be the best king that you could possibly be, right? And it wouldn't be good in your dharma to be a bad king, right? Or not even take on the role of king and say, oh, that's too much for me. I don't want to be a king. I want to be humble and blah, blah. It causes disaster and it causes pain, and you fall out of the role that the universe has ascribed for you. So dharma is very important, that you find your correct action, your correct role. And Vedic astrology can, of course, help you with that. And you can see that in part in your houses, in the houses in your chart, the first house, the fifth house, the ninth house. These all correspond to Dharma and the role that you're here to play. Then there's Artha, and that has to do with acquiring wealth or building up resources, creating things, and doing that also in the right way. And the houses that correspond to that are the second, the sixth, and the 10th house. Then there's Kama, and that is worldly enjoyment. And these are your desires and needs, which are also important because they're the carrot on the stick that are leading you through the experiences that you need to have in order to become the person that you're supposed to be, in order to live your Dharma and your Artha. And the houses where you can see this are the 3rd, 7th, and 11th. Then there is moksha, the moksha houses, and these have to do with liberation. And this is when you release everything. And usually this is towards the end of your life. But the houses that have to do with that are the 4th, 8th, and 12th. So they see a life as kind of like the sun, like playing on everything. And the sun touches everything. It touches the garbage. It touches the flowers and the plants, the houses, the street. It touches you, but it doesn't stick to anything. And we should be the same way as in life, but not stuck to it, not sticking to it, but allowing things to release and let go. So I'll get into the planets and everything in our second video, but this one I want to focus on just a little bit of the Ayurvedic basics. So another thing is that Jyotish I'm finding out as I'm moving through, it's not just an astrology technique like with the Western astrology. When you learn that, you're learning techniques, you're learning, yes, perspectives in a sense, but it's very decoupled from spirituality meanwhile, right? In a certain sense. Vedic astrology is deeply steeped in spiritual beliefs and a kind of a religion, if you will. So as I'm learning different concepts and ideas that come out of religion, come out of a spiritual mindset and view, and learning an entire new language and way of perceiving things, which is exciting to me. So what's also important is that the earth in Vedic perspective is called Mrityusthana, and this means place of death because everything and everyone that comes here to die. So death is a huge part and focal point of Vedic astrology, that you don't waste the life that you've been given to make the transformations that you are supposed to make, because there are also 3 karmas and 3 gunas that we're going to speak about right now. So the 3 karmas, and this is also important, because as you move through the plan, right? As you move through the plan of your life, as you're an emanation or a vibration of God, if you will, that's not Vedic, that's me putting my little, all my perspectives together. That's why I'm saying I'm not a teacher here. So don't take that as something that's Vedic. But as you're moving through the plan, you're also having the ability to choose. And the law of karma is about choice. It's not about retribution. It's not about vengeance. It's not about punishment. It literally means action. The word karma means action. So every action we take in whichever lifetime, whether it's in the past or the present or the future, is our karma, or our choice. And we can address the issues created by our karma in other aspects of our life in order to give our souls the chance to mature and move up in air quotes, wherever enlightenment is, to move in that direction. And so the 3 karmas that we deal with are Sanchita karma. And this is the karma of previous lives. This is the one that a lot of people are pretty obsessed with, where they think, oh, this is all playing out in this life because I did that in a past life. And so this belief is saying that if you were robbed or had fantastically good luck, then that may have come from past life. Then there's, and I'm not pronouncing these even properly, so whoever can correct me in the comments, please go right ahead. The prarabdha karma is the karma that you face in this life, that come out of your actions in this life. And it's also both negative and positive. And it's not meant to be doom laden in the sense that, this is not supposed to make you not move or do anything at all. It's just realizing that this is what it is, right? And accepting that. So it's also accepting that you're born to a destiny. In Vedic astrology, that you can see the destiny in your chart. And I've been completely surprised by one of the best astrology readings that I've had was through a Vedic astrologer. And Western astrology didn't really convince me, which is another reason why I'm learning Vedic astrology now. Plus, I felt that Western astrology was so abused in the sense that it took away all your truth, all your real agency, and gave you excuses not to evolve more than excuses to evolve. So, or reasons to evolve. But in Vedic astrology, you realize that the amount of control that you have over your life is actually very small and very personal. And the only way to work with this is to surrender and to accept that you're part of a great cosmic plan. And so faith and belief is very important in this, and developing your faith, your belief, your connection to higher. Then the 3rd karma is a kriyamana karma. And this is the most important of the 3. And this is the karma that we actually make of our own choice and free will. And it's the karma of choosing what to do. For example, if you're angry, how are you going to react? If you feel that you're being taken advantage of, how are you going to use that? If you are, let's say you're in a position of, you like chocolate, but right now in the society you're in, liking chocolate comes with a lot of consequences. How do you go about that, right? If it causes others suffering. So do you learn and grow and evolve out of that, or do you cater to your lowest base desire? So this is a really important karma, and it's concerned, a great deal of Vedic astrology is concerned or shows you how to understand this karma and the choices that you face. So you learn to make the right choices and understand why you're making the right choices. Now, there are also 3 gunas, and this comes out of the belief that creation is a product of meeting between Purusha and Prakriti, the male and the female, the soul and the forces of regeneration. And Purusha is to enjoy what Prakriti has to offer, but Prakriti has to fulfill Purusha's desires. And when this happens, cosmic birth takes place. And Ahankara comes into being, which is the individual ego, the mind, all the senses. And so it's a balance of the 3 gunas. And sometimes the balance of these can be disturbed. So we try to understand the impulses and how to restore this balance, right? So the 3 gunas are sattva, and sattvic qualities are of truth and purity, of purpose, being good, looking for good in others, the path towards enlightenment and higher consciousness. They are fearless, generous, and self-controlled people. They have an open mind. They find it hard to hurt others. They rise above worldly matters. They are vegetarians usually by nature and need to be vegetarian. They need to eat foods that are plain without spices and so on and so forth. Like water is pure sattva. Then there are the rajas, and this is the quality of taking action, of searching. This is trying to find new meanings. And this is often ascribed to egoic people because it is passionate, it's ambitious, it has this inner thirst, it desires, it's restless, it wants to achieve, and it's motivated through dissatisfaction. And these qualities are never fully satisfied. So they want worldly success and they want it now, and they can be fickle, unreliable, easily distracted. Then there is tamas, and tamasic qualities are of darkness and ignorance, and people with tamasic qualities embrace the darkness. And darkness in this case is not, it's not the color, it's showing, how should I put this? It's the color is not the bad part here. It's just an allegory, an analogy to ignorance and not having that light of awareness. So Maya, the illusory world of self-gratification, it ties them to their desires. These are extremely materialistic people. They're sensuous, in love with the good things of life, which isn't a bad thing, but they are in excess, and they're very attached to it. And they have to try very hard to escape their own ignorance. And they need yoga and meditation to strengthen their inner being, because there's an inner weakness, if you will, if they want to move towards higher consciousness. Now, these are all the extremes. We're all a mix of all three. And we just look at how to balance out these three gunas within us. And yeah. So the planets that Vedic astrology also works with are only from the Sun to Saturn. Saturn is the most distant. So they work with the Sun, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. And the transpersonal planets like Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, they're not really worked with in traditional Vedic astrology, but modern astrology, Vedic astrology, some do bring those planets in, but not all. So another thing about Vedic astrology is, like any Vedic discipline, these disciplines are very, very tied to verbal and guru transmissions. They believe that you can only truly practice them if you've been initiated into it. And the initiation is literally a transference of consciousness or of a spark from guru to disciple. And so while I'm learning here, until I find my teacher, I'll be just learning, preparing the ground, preparing myself, and for the right teacher to transmit to me. But that's how it's traditionally taught, is by transference from student to teacher. However, most students that dive into this and do find a teacher that transmits or initiates them, they have done significant pre-work, right? So it's normal to first start working and learning and practicing, and then as your energy opens the pathway, it opens that way up, then if you're meant to work on this path, then your teacher will find you, or you will find your teacher, or you'll find each other. So Jyotish is also an ever-evolving and developing system, and it's integrated insights from other systems over time. They do think that there is a mutual source in the Middle East, and that both directions, Western astrology and Eastern astrology, kind of developed eventually on separate pathways but have a same root. And whereas Western astrology became exclusive, Jyotish became inclusive and adopted insights from other systems as well. Now, it roots in the Vedas, and Veda, the word means sacred knowledge. And the Vedas, or these four main books of origin, let's call them, are seen as being living beings themselves. And this is important to understand that in Vedic astrology, everything is alive. The planets are alive and are living beings. The houses, even Jyotish itself is overseen by a goddess of a living being, Vidya, Jyoti Vidya. And you can connect with her and allow her to teach you as well, or to work through you. Overall, though, the goddess that I now have hanging behind me is Saraswati, and she's the one that's seen most in connection with Jyotish, apparently, but we'll see. So there are 6 disciplines called Vedangas to master in order to master the 4 main books, the Vedas. And one of them is the Vyakarana, and that's grammar. The other is seen as the Chanda, and that's meter. Then there's Shiktasha, and that's intonation. Nirukta, etymology. Kalpa, which is ritual, and Jyotish, which is astronomy and astrology. And since these 6 disciplines combine to create a living being, which you can only connect with through a guru, or see through a guru, the Vyankarana, which is the grammar, is seen as the face. The Chandas, or the meter, is the legs. The Shiksha, intonation, is the breath. Nirukta, etymology, are the ears. Kalpa, ritual, are the hands, and Jyotish itself are the eyes. And these are termed Vidyas. And a Vidya is a goddess which must be worshipped for a personal relationship to form, so she can possess you in a sense and work through you. And Jyotish is, like I said, under Jyoti Vidya, or the lore of light. And this, actually, the Vedas and all of this is the root of Hinduism. So another thing that's really important in Vedic astrology is the difference in nuance. So the color of the moon or the planet, whether it's passing through the head or tail of constellation, all of that. This is all important. So yeah, and the planets rule 2 signs in Vedic astrology as well, or 12 rashis or constellations. And so the sun rules its own sign of Leo, the moon rules its own sign of Cancer, but Mercury rules both Gemini and Virgo, Venus rules both Libra and Taurus, Mars rules both Aries and Scorpio, Jupiter rules both Pisces and Sag, and Saturn rules both Capricorn and Aquarius. And the Earth is not counted because she's our frame of reference. So, yeah. Then there's so much more, but I think I'll leave it at this one, and I will see you in part 2, and where we'll dive a little bit deeper into things. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if you would like to see something specific, or hear about a specific topic, or that is beginner, right? Because I want to keep things kind of in order, right? So I want to start off at the very basics and then grow this channel all the way through. Let me know, and I will make a video on it, dive into it, or open up a space where we can all learn and discuss things. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you are studying Jyotish, don't give up. And I wish the best for you. And I hope to hear from you, and hope to hear what you have to say too. Thank you guys. See you in the next one. Bye.